We almost drove into it. I was scared as hell.
Jay, it's Landy. I've got a monster wedge tornado.
They said the tornado was a little over 1.5 miles wide.
It was the most ungodly thing I'd ever seen in my life.
I couldn't hold on to the truck anymore. It was just getting that bad.
He said it was raining so hard he didn't know which direction he was going. He couldn't see the hood of his car.
We had our EMS radios on, and that's when we heard that there was an officer critically injured. I instantly knew it was my dad.
I just wish that day never happened.
Things changed after Greensburg.
From the Weather Channel, this is Storm Stories with meteorologist Jim Cantori.
Rural Kansas. When weather turns dramatic, the horizon becomes a stage.
It's an adrenaline rush to watch something form like out of nothing. Just to watch it start forming in the sky.
Kind of like a scary book or a scary movie that you can't pull away from. You're watching it, it's really intense, you can't turn away from it.
For storm chaser Lanny Dean, who covers severe weather for a Wichita news station, tracking storms is a way of life. Just as it is for Robert Buckman. Robert, who goes by his middle name, Tim, is a police officer as well as a Stafford County deputy sheriff.
He would storm spot for the National Weather Service. He was an avid storm spotter anyway. The storms, the nature of them, always fascinated him.
It's a fascination 46-year-old Tim shares with his children and stepchildren.
Growing up around Dad, you were just as interested in the storms as he was. When you heard tornado sirens or heard that we were in a warning or a watch, you constantly wanted to go outside. You didn't want to sit in a basement and hide.
My first reaction was to get up, call Dad. Hey, where's it at? Are you going spotting? Can I go with you?
He taught me a lot more about the clouds than what I could ever learn in any classroom. He's studied them for so long. We called him a human barometer.
Tim lives with his wife Sally in Macksville, a small town that sits 100 miles west of Wichita. Macksville is a place where most folks know each other, and everybody knows Tim.
Tim worked for the city of Macksville, which entails anything from reading meters to unplugging sewer clogs. And then also he took turns being on patrol because we are a small community.
I heard stories from old ladies in town that in the wintertime, whenever it snowed, he'd go and take time out of his day to shovel the driveways.
He's just always giving. He'd give himself to the community. He'd give himself to the football games, to the school programs. He'd go out of his way to help.
May 4th, 2007.
I love you, buddy. I'll see you in a little bit, okay?
Storm chaser Lanny Dean says goodbye to his wife and twin toddlers and hits the road.
Good luck.
Lanny and his family live north of Wichita, but today work sends him to south central Kansas, where he's keeping an eye on some particularly explosive weather.
Even if you weren't a real good forecaster, you knew something was brewing in the weather. All the ingredients were there for a major severe weather outbreak. You had the dry line, you had the low pressure, and then you had what we call a piece of energy or a short wave move across that particular area and bulge that dry line. Wherever the bulge happened first, that's where the action's gonna happen.
It's a storm right there.
Lanny has lived in Kansas for just 3 years, but he's been chasing storms for nearly 20.
I ran a forecast early in the morning and decided my target area was between Greensburg to Medicine Lodge, Kansas.
Just north of that target area sits the town of Macksville, where tonight, Officer Tim Buckman is leaving his house to go on patrol.
We knew it was headed up this direction. We walked out the door at the same time when he was getting into his cop car. When I went up to Great Bend at the same time.
He was going around checking all the local residents, make sure everybody was in safe areas because they have no sirens out there, any warning.
Warning people about the storm is Lanny Dean's job too. And tonight, we'll put this storm chaser's experience to the ultimate test.
It's like putting your hands over your face and driving. That's what it's like chasing at night. But somebody's got to do it. There's no way around it. If I'm not out there, then who's going to give the warning? What are people going to do? People can't see it. Lightning becomes your friend. Power flashes become your friend. You use anything that you can to try to see what's happening, what's going on around you.
Suddenly, a power flash. Light caused by electricity escaping a split power line illuminates a paralyzing spectacle.
In 267 tornadoes, this was the biggest tornado that I had ever seen.
And it's dangerously close.
We almost drove into it. I've been really close. I've been hit. Had windows bust out on me. I've rolled a vehicle on its side. This was different. This was a beast. I was scared as hell. I made a quick turnaround and drove south and got the hell away from it.
Once he's at a safe distance, Lanny scrambles to phone in a live report.
Jay, it's Lanny. I've got a monster wedge tornado. I'm about 4 to 5 miles south of Greensburg. The tornado has crossed Highway 183.
It was like this waterfall that was just continuous, and it was eerie. It was the most ungodly thing I'd ever seen in my life.
The tornado unleashes winds in excess of 200 miles an hour on Greensburg. When it finally dissipates, several more twisters begin forming, traveling northeast at up to 30 miles an hour toward the home of Tim and Sally Buckman. Tim, a police officer and deputy sheriff, is out on duty tonight, but suddenly he comes home.
He came in the house, told me to get dressed and leave. The tornado was already south of here about 10 miles. It was moving really fast. I had my sweats right there, so I put them on, threw the dog in the car, grabbed my purse, and left.
My mom had called me and said, I got your dog, and I'll be heading to Grandma and Grandpa's. And so I said, okay, we'll see you here.
Sally Buckman drives north to meet her son Corbin in the town of Great Bend, Kansas. But as she drives out of harm's way, her husband Tim drives east into it. It's his job to urge rural neighbors into shelter. As Officer Buckman drives, he gets a call from another of his sons, Derek. Derek is a firefighter in nearby Hutchinson, Kansas. He hears a tornado hit Greensburg, and he and his fiancée Audra are calling to ask how they can help.
And we kind of made a game plan on me coming out here to Macksville to get the fire trucks to go to help search and rescue at Greensburg. He told me to get here as quickly as possible, and that was probably the wrong thing to say. I don't think my truck left 125 miles an hour.
Like his father, Derek is committed to serving his community, even when doing so means risking his own life.
Derek resembles Tim very much. When he has his mind set up, he's going. That's just Derek.
The tornado is wedge-shaped, seeming as wide as it is long, but it's hidden by a wall of rain so heavy, Tim Buckman can't see it.
He said it was raining so hard he didn't know which direction he was going. He couldn't see the hood of his car.
He has to call his stepson Corbin for updates on the twister's whereabouts.
He knew I was watching news and I had my radar on my phone. They said on the TV that the tornado was a little over 1.5 miles wide, and that's what I had told Tim.
It's dawning on Corbin that his stepfather's patrol car may actually be on a collision course with the tornado. Tim loses all road visibility. From his patrol car, he calls his stepson Corbin again.
He said dispatch was really busy, and I told him the tornado was probably right there around him. I said, you'd have to be seeing it right now, and he says, well, it's rain wrapped, I can't see anything. I said, you've got to get out of there. I said, should be right there, right where you're at. Then the last thing he said to me on the phone was, Corbin, I'm not gonna make it out of here. He hung up.
An EF5 tornado has just pummeled the town of Greensburg, Kansas, and another twister is nearing the town of Macksville. Out on Highway 50, Derek Buckman and his fiancée Audra drive west into the storm. Derek is a firefighter and is headed to Greensburg to help with search and rescue, but his truck is no match for the furious wind. He makes an abrupt swerve south, out of the tornado's path.
You always have that voice that tells you what you need to do, and I guess that night it was speaking a little bit louder than what it normally probably does.
The tornado burns across Stafford County, just missing the town of Macksville and Derek's truck.
We ended up having to go 7.5 miles south of the highway to get around the big tornado, and then there were several whip tornadoes behind it.
Audra and Derek are safe, but Derek worries his father, Tim Buckman, a police officer and deputy sheriff, might not be so lucky. Tim is on duty tonight, out on the highway.
I knew he was going to be out, and I knew from experience of being with him, he was going to get as close as he possibly could.
Derek and Audra focus on finding Tim.
It was kind of a manhunt trying to find my dad.
Derek and I really did not talk on the way. We just knew that we had to get to town.
And I called the dispatch office and asked if they had heard from him. They said that they had lost contact up to 45 minutes ago.
Tim's wife, Sally, and stepson, Corbin, are also worried. Tim had been phoning Corbin every few minutes from the highway. But 30 minutes go by without any word from Tim.
I couldn't get a hold of him. I tried calling him and tried calling him, and I couldn't get a hold of him.
It was the not knowing.
I was nervous, I was anxious. I wanted to leave right away and head down here and start looking.
Derek and Audra are searching the highway for Tim's car, but the road is now a debris field.
It was falling over trees, dead animals. There was a lot of cows, a lot of deer that were twisted and mangled all over the road.
Storm chaser Lanny Dean is 50 miles away from Derek, just outside the town of Greensburg. But he, too, is dodging wreckage.
There was grass all over the road. It made it very difficult to see. It felt like I was on a racetrack, a dirt racetrack. You know, we were driving in the ditch. We were coming out of the ditch.
Oh, my God.
Lanny is covering the severe weather for a Wichita TV station. Little does he know, he's narrowly escaped the first EF5 tornado ever recorded.
This is really bad, Jay. We have got power flashes. Now we're seeing almost continuous power flashes.
Lanny has skirted the tornado, but he's not out of danger.
It's all across the road up here.
In fact, he is inching further into the fray.
I drive up the road a little ways and get in a hell of a mess with power lines. You don't know if they're alive. You don't know if they're juiced up. You have no clue. There's an ambulance behind you. You need to let that ambulance get into that town. You have got to help. You have got to help. So I'm cutting through power lines with a hacksaw, trying to let the emergency vehicles and me and everybody else to get into the town.
Lanny does make it to town, only to find there's not much of it left.
Oh, my God. Anybody in there? Hello? Where are you at? Talk to me.
In 18 or 19 years, I've seen death and I've seen destruction, but not like this.
Everybody all right?
This is a whole town
Oh, my God.
that is now gone. There's nothing. Nothing. I wasn't prepared for what I saw. None of us were.
Lanny has become part of a story he never wanted to tell. He begins to dig through rubble, looking for people who need help.
Just pray, man. You'll be all right. The Lord will save you, all right?
There was just so much going through my mind.
Someone hold the light or something. Can you hold the light with the other hand? Ready?
I wanted to try to help,
Mark, you're gonna have to cowboy up, buddy.
but I wanted to try to document and let people know what was happening.
Let's flip it over. You all right? Will, welcome to the world.
Doing all right, Mark?
The storm has cut power and crippled cell phone communication. Unable to reach him by phone, the family of Officer Tim Buckman scans the radio to glean information about where he is.
We had our EMS radios on, and that's when we heard that there was an officer critically injured and they needed advanced life support staff. I instantly knew it was my dad.
We both had the same worry, and we was just hoping it wasn't Tim, but I had a feeling it probably was.
Corbin's stepbrother, Derek, shares that feeling. He and his fiancée, Audra, are out searching for Tim's patrol car. A call to police dispatch directs them to a cluster of flashing lights on Highway 50.
It was pretty much just pure adrenaline getting me where I needed to go.
Derek and Audra arrive at the scene to find Tim is seriously hurt.
They were loading him up into the ambulance when we got there. It was just kind of a disbelievable situation, you know. No matter how real it is, it's just not real at that particular point in time when it happened. I climbed into the ambulance and grabbed hold of his hand. He wasn't directly conscious. He was moving around, and I just grabbed hold of his hand, and he kind of calmed down a little bit.
Outside the ambulance, Audra is approached by a stranger who asks if she knows the injured officer.
And I said, well, he's soon to be my father-in-law. And he's like, well, I'm the one who found him. And he told me what had happened. He was driving down the road, and a flash of lightning had lit up the car in the field, and he had seen it. He wasn't sure what it was, so he waited for another flash. And that's when he noticed it was a car.
The details of Tim's accident are hazy. What's certain is his car has flown 30 yards from the highway. Derek, a firefighter, walks out to see the wreckage for himself.
Out of all the car wrecks I've worked and, you know, all the accident scenes I've been around, I questioned how he could still be alive. You know, I've never been with a vehicle that torn up and that badly crushed where we've actually pulled anybody out alive.
We want to go over to Jay because we're getting some unique footage from our storm chaser, Lanny Dean, coming into the newsroom.
Among the ruins of an EF5 tornado, storm reporter Lanny Dean phones in a live report from Greensburg, Kansas.
We are at the motel that used to be basically at the western edge of town. Right now, currently, we have the owners with us that survived this tornado by going into the closet.
Were you guys scared?
I was, yeah.
You got to feel extremely lucky right now.
We do feel extremely lucky, yes.
I was fortunate enough to talk with some of the residents who actually heard me. They heard what I had to say. They took shelter. They went in their basement. They went to a safe place. That was a great feeling. That was good.
It's a rare comfort in a traumatic night, a night even this veteran storm chaser will never forget.
I'd never been scared. I've been hit, I rolled the vehicle, I've been flipped, I've been cut, and I'm okay. I was okay with that. And I would still get up there and dance with the devil, so to speak.
Oh, my God.
Things changed after Greensburg. I was scared now.
Hi, Jay, how are you?
Lanny signs off from Greensburg before dawn, then drives east back to Wichita on Highway 50. The same road Officer Tim Buckman was driving when a tornado flung his car 30 yards afield.
I remember passing that and seeing people looking, walking in a field, and what is going on? And I realized.
Tim is rushed to the hospital in critical condition. His family anxiously waits for a prognosis.
It was horrible. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Initial brain scans give Tim's wife and children hope, making false reports of his death even more painful.
Every news channel, every radio channel, from basically the time he got to the hospital, said he was dead when he wasn't. I called the press and I told them, you know, you need to get your stories right.
But the injuries proved too severe. Within a few days, Tim is declared brain dead.
You know, you always think that your dad's gonna grow to be an old man. He's gonna die in his bed asleep. You never picture walking into a hospital room seeing tubes and monitors and nurses all around.
You wouldn't want to live like that.
Together with the children, Tim's wife Sally decides to remove him from life support. And the community Tim spent his life serving steps in to show its appreciation.
There were several houses south of here that were totally destroyed. People that lived in those homes were bringing food here, fully prepared meals that they had made. How, I have no idea. They were more concerned about the family and I and Tim's parents. They didn't care that they just lost everything.
The tornadoes that strike South Central Kansas on May 4th, 2007, take 13 lives. Among those who perished is Macksville police officer Tim Buckman, devoted husband, beloved father, and dedicated public servant.
I believe that he thought of the community as his family too. Just the way he treated everybody, it seemed as if it was kind of like a second family to him.
He is missed. I just wish that day never happened.
Tim's family struggles with his loss, but like the residents of Greensburg, they are committed to strengthening and rebuilding their lives, one day at a time. For the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori. Your local forecast is next.